Greetings, gentle viewers.
And howdy howdy.
Last time we worked through probably most of the investigation of the second case.
Yeah.
Now we're below the flow bar.
Alright, you got the snake with your knife on you, see.
Now we're below the floorboards. Looking around and gonna see what we can find down here. A sickle. Where on earth did that come from? But we'll get there. We have a theory. What we learned down here may completely change our theory. And we also found out that apparently we're going to be wasting time in the trial arguing the most basic point.
Speaking of wasting our time in the trial, arguing the most basic point.
Oh, that's accurate.
We're the Bittersweet Gamers.
Maybe not in the trial, but kind of at all times, arguing the most basic point. Oh. Anyway, I'm the opinionator, it's true.
And I'm We Squared.
You are not We Squared.
Yes, I am.
You are We Cubed because you were killed when the cage was lifted.
I was killed during the seance, thanks.
When the cage was lifted.
During the seance.
It's during the seance.
It's during the seance.
It's not when the cage was lifted.
No.
Okay, well, let's start with this. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. Right. There it was.
Ah!
Oh, look. Part of the cross piece that supports the floorboard is cut off. So that way, at that point, Kokichi or whoever the killer is, but let's be serious, could, right?
Yeah, could easily move it.
Could just stomp on it, they would have had to have known.
Yes.
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same width, too. And from what I can see of it...
That's true.
It wasn't broken off naturally. This was cut by someone.
Yeah.
There should be saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is, why? Well, to move the floorboard.
Yes.
Another cross piece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing. So what purpose did this serve?
I've got it! That sickle ain't long enough to hit Tenko where she was laying. She was, however, perfectly laying on a floorboard. You stomp down on the floorboard to pull her closer to the edge of the cage so that you can stab her, and then you let go as she falls back down.
Okay, hold on.
We got some Looney Tunes stuff going on here.
No. I'm not sure I follow what you said.
Okay, so she's laying this way, and I realize I'm using visual aids. I can't help it.
Say horizontally.
She is laying horizontally, like all her head down like a turtle. So she is on a board. He steps on that part of the board.
Yeah, without the cross piece, right?
To project her up, so her neck, the back of her neck, is close enough to the cage for him to stab her with the sickle. And then he lets his foot go, and she slumps back down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I hadn't even worried about that because one of the things that doesn't seem to make too much of a difference to me, how to get through that cage
Right.
with a bladed weapon, because there's a bladed weapon that has gotten through the cage.
Right.
So that's just one of those things where, well, it obviously happened, regardless of my initial take on it. So the question is where did he get the sickle? I don't mean where in the building.
Yeah.
I mean, where was it? You can't carry that around.
That's a good question.
I mean, we figured out how because we were talking about this a lot last time, and we figured out how he disposed of the weapon. He dropped it in that hole back there, but...
He must have had it when he put the sheet down. He hid the sickle between the sheet and the cage. But the statue would have been on it. I think it might have had something to do with that.
The sickle is probably... Well, I don't know how big it is. Is it like a little farmer's comma, or we'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tenko's body is loose, and the cross piece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all of this, then why? But, I mean, I think you nailed it. Again, it is something that happened.
Yeah.
And when you see the cross piece missing, you can see that it's intentional.
Yeah.
So the trick is just figuring out why it was done, because it must have been necessary.
Right.
Because nothing is random and purposeless.
Yeah.
Huh. So why is this... I mean, it's because her body's right there, but why is this dried? There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. But that's pretty far from where Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
Hey.
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too.
Ah.
You're right, there's a little bit of blood on the underside of this floorboard.
What do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood spatter here when she got killed? Billy is gesticulating.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, he was trying to basically do hand geometry, which looks a lot like he's making funny From Software game poses.
Yeah, if it happened the way I said it did, I could see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it in a second. I wonder. I can't really be sure yet.
Okay.
Well, that's where he would have stepped on it.
Yeah.
How would it have gotten underneath? That doesn't make sense. Well, these bloodstains here are completely dry.
Yeah.
And on the bottom of a board.
And on the bottom. Okay.
There must be some reason these particular stains are dry. Because, I mean, that right there is not dry.
Yeah.
Also, if no other cross pieces were cut, then he was counting on it being the middle room. So how'd he luck out? You know what I'm saying? How could he have guaranteed that it got to the middle room?
Yeah. Because Himiko was the one who suggested it.
And I just can't believe that it was Himiko.
No, not at all.
I could believe that Himiko, after this trial, could kill someone.
Yes.
But Himiko now? No. Yeah, what you said makes sense. The only reason that the cross piece was cut here was so you could stomp on this board.
Yeah.
And you've got the magic circle to show you exactly where it is. Mm-hmm. And he's got that circle memorized in any case. So he would stomp it, which would lift that up, but not move the cage or the dog.
Yeah. And that's maybe why it had to be a girl, so that they're light enough that he could do that.
That might, why that's why he suggested that. He lucked out that it wasn't Gonta, and we.
Oh boy!
Well, Gonta wouldn't have been able to fit.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. That was a convenient thing.
But I will admit that I'm not sure where that blood came from.
And for that matter, he would have had to have done more than lift the sheet if he's going to then be reaching all the way over to hit with the...
Well, because if he's stepping on it, then...
Billy, you need to stop worrying so much about the angles. No, because it's hard for me to communicate that, but look at it like this.
Okay.
It's 3 feet high. Okay, how high can it go? The cage is 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It only needs to go up a little bit, but it can't be at a sharp angle. You understand?
Yeah, you're right.
It can only be at a very shallow angle. Even still, it's that. You don't suppose it has something to do with that, do you? I mean, I don't, but...
I can't possibly think of a reason why?
Yeah, what we think that this is that Korekiyo opened the door. We were kind of counting on something else to kind of get Korekiyo in that door. Gosh, since even if we understand the method, we can't pin Angie's murder on anybody. We might have to actually solve, just like in Chapter 2 in the second game, where we had the video game.
Yeah.
We might actually have to solve Tenko's murder to solve Angie's.
That makes sense.
Because we personally are thinking in a way where it's like connecting them. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, I understand.
If Korikyo got into the, called out in a different voice.
Right.
And got Angie to open the door, then immediately plows her in the face. Then so there's not a whole lot of blood over there because he wants to have her be dead in the center of the room for the show. Then he uses the duct tape
and like slaps it over the wound.
And that's the cut on her forehead.
Right.
Which, again, there is one, which is unusual. It's apparently a big laceration, but it didn't bleed as much as it should.
Yeah, and that would explain, like, slapping duct tape over it.
And it was after her death that the duct tape came off from the rest of the blood. And that's the only way to explain this, or it is a way to explain it. So I feel like we've made sense of that, but this blood under the board is the one... I mean, we've made sense of the board.
Yeah.
And the noise, but I don't get that. Well, let's get to this weapon since we've been talking about it. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it, so we know what it was for.
Okay.
The blood on this sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon.
Is this...
This came from my research lab.
Huh?
It did? I mean, it did. I remember it.
Well...
A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes, too.
Okay, so maybe he just hid it under his clothes before he used it and then dropped it off.
His clothes are too tight. How do you hide that under your clothes?
She just said you can, I mean...
It's a sickle, it's not a scythe. It's like you use it to like, cut rice.
Yeah.
Or grain.
Well...
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade is about 6 inches.
That's right.
And since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
But
even if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but could it reach her neck? However, that's what we've already talked about because we started with the floorboard.
Yep.
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but well, I don't think it's impossible. Then her posture is the question. But, I mean, not the back of the neck.
Hey.
If the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark, wiping the sheet, right? And wiping it on the sheet as he pulls it away, which was also your idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still bloody.
Yeah.
I mean, when you wipe something, it doesn't all come off.
Blood is notoriously sticky.
Like, you do that to get rid of the excess, so then you could actually move it over to where you need it to be without it dripping anywhere.
Yeah.
Best I got right now, anyway. Or they could have been under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible, but that does seem unusual. How do you... I guess I could see how you could hide a 6-inch blade on like a 2.5 foot pole, like under your clothes, but retrieving it quickly would be very difficult.
Well, he had plenty of time during the singing to carefully do it.
It was careful, all right.
Now the big conspicuous hole to the right.
I think it's funny that the candle is placed instead of carried. Well, some of the wood is corroded and is broken off, so you can see into the next room. Could we have gotten from this room to the one on the left? You know, he might have argued about that. Alternately, he could have by not selecting the room himself, because he was asked which room they should go to. By not selecting one himself, it, like, removes some of the suspicion from him.
Good point.
Well, okay, whether you've been impressed by it or not, I've been trying to figure out if it could have worked in any of the rooms. And with this, we can see it could have worked in 2 rooms.
Yeah, so we need to see if the other room is also connected somehow. Although even if it wasn't, 2 out of 3 ain't bad odds.
Yeah, and he could have gone in and been like, there's a problem, why don't you pick one of the other rooms?
Yeah. He could have easily made something that would have sounded convincing. He's the expert.
Hey,
This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away. It looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. But I can get into the next room through here. Also, I do like how there was enough time for some rot. But then again, how much of the school is overgrown?
Yeah.
Which is another one of our, pieces of evidence about why this is...
Cyclical.
Or whether, even if it's not cyclical, this place has been here a while.
Yeah.
Because that type of overgrowth doesn't happen fast. It could happen in a single season, but it doesn't happen in a week.
Right.
that's true.
But the rot, that'll take a couple of years anyway. If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? Then the culprit could have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did all right because we had a light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. Now, just like how we had pointed out, we know where this is going about Kibo being accused. It's not him.
Right.
And the ultimate robophobia, it's like he's being blamed, or he will be. Doesn't that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, could it have been Kibo?
Well,
But why?
yeah, that's the problem. It could have been several people if we're talking about possibility,
Well, no. The flashlight function is how he can get around down here, see?
Okay.
Kibo was a member of the student council, so he could call out to Angie and she'd open the door.
Okay, I guess he is uniquely...
And then Kibo could also have committed this crime.
Well, no, because as soon as he popped up to kill Tenko, they'd see it with his glowing eyes.
He would have turned those off by that point.
Well, then how would he know where exactly everything is? Because he left before the seance was even constructed.
Yeah, that makes sense. It wasn't Kibo in any case. Yeah, it's that he didn't have enough time here to be able to do it that accurately.
Yeah.
That might make it impossible to move around in there. Maybe not impossible, but...
Nope.
Well, then they could have used a light like we're doing right now.
Well,
True. The flashlight. Enabler of so many crimes. They used a light to move around under the floor? Is that possible?
We're using a light to move around under the floor. Maybe it was us.
I don't think that's possible though.
So what do you mean?
I was waiting.
is that all right?
I was waiting to get a truth bullet, and then I was going to point around under here. I think that they keep saying it's not airtight. We would have seen the light coming up through the floor.
That's right.
Maki, you want to head back up? I'm glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this dust. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floor, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation. Is there gonna be much more of one?
What else can we look at,
Maki's lab?
Oh, true.
I imagine we're just about done with it.
Yeah.
By the way,
We've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise? I've been saying repeatedly I wanted to look at the other 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't think that's really a killer component, but I think it helps with identifying the person, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. What do you mean?
because
If Angie and Tenko have different killers, then the blackened we need to vote for is
You're right.
the culprit for the first murder. The culprit who killed Angie.
Well, we've already kind of investigated everything pertaining to that one, haven't we? I guess we'll find out.
It really did seem open and shut.
Oh, we're funny.
Not the identity of the person, but the method.
Yeah.
Like, it was remarkably simple. I remember thinking in that first investigation episode, it was like, what's going on? This is too easy. Well, I guess I see why.
Well, surprise.
That's what Monokuma said.
Then,
So, instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's?
If they were two separate killers, yes. Can you confirm that, though? That they were two separate people? I think we should confirm that first.
Well, how?
By investigating both of them.
I mean, you can't really confirm it, though.
Okay,
Yes, of course.
but
But this is bigger than the killing game. For the sake of the two who died, I need to reveal the truth of both their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. Okay, let's look at the other rooms, I guess. When I came to the hallway, a scene more surprising than I could ever imagine unfolded.
Oh God, what now?
Is there gonna be a third one?
Just really?
What? No, I don't.
You little!
Yeah,
I'll kill you!
I don't buy it. And
Oh, you son of a... Ah, Kokichi.
we're yelling so much it has scared away the cat. Did I surprise you? Were you gonna scream and cry in terror?
huh?
What are you doing? You throttleable little shit!
Oh?
Oh, sorry. I'm just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Wow, way to commit to the bit.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing? I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Huh?
Ah! 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 Vindication!
And it couldn't have happened to a nicer asshole.
How many times, Billy, have I said we should investigate the other rooms to see if they were also prepped?
Well,
Well,
I'll be
look,
damned if he didn't get blatted in the face with the floorboard.
look what happened. Furthermore, what is that weight?
97 pounds.
Pretty small. Girl size. You stepped through a floorboard? Sorry.
That's so mean.
Jeez, that got me good. 'Cause of this, I tripped and fell pretty hard.
got a minute?
If you're going to lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything.
Ah.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I guess there was no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. Ow. Again, is it a coincidence that the person who leads to this stuff is always Kokichi?
Probably not, no.
He's always the one who shows up to be able to pick the lock. Just in case nobody thought of it, he went to go next door just to make sure nobody could get away. That's why I just keep thinking this is all his show. What bad luck. Really did hurt though. The cross piece was gone, you say. Does that mean... Seriously, the level of dodging is such. I mean, the level of covering oneself is so great with Korekiyo that I feel like it does become suspicious. You know, I didn't pick the room. It couldn't have been me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Huh? Wait, you're serious? It's already time for the trial?
Confidence. Dreams. That's what the Killing Game is all about. Killing Game fans, hold your head high and watch with your own two eyes. Baseball, soccer, mobile games, they're all nothing compared to the Killing Game.
Mobile games are just designed to be extremely addictive.
The Killing Game just can't be beat. Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds.
I guess time's up. If Kokichi had not gone in there when he did, we would not be able to refute the I let so-and-so pick the room. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, the one who picked the room was Himiko.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that make Himiko look suspicious? And he might have even been the one who moved her where he did.
He even specifically told her to watch out for the floorboards over there.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode, right? Well, because the hole where it was dropped was right by Himiko.
Mm-hmm.
And Himiko's the one who ran to lift the cage.
Yep.
Now, I don't see how anybody could have predicted for sure that that's how she was going to behave.
Right.
Like, to do the killed them right when the thing was lifted.
Oh, don't give me that. Don't even give that any consideration. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
She charged over there because Tenko wasn't responding and there was blood everywhere.
Yeah, but anybody could have run over instead.
True, but she was concerned.
Anybody could have been concerned.
Okay, yeah.
Himiko was even going to originally be the person there. I'm just saying you can't specifically frame one person convincingly like that. It doesn't matter, though. Well, whatever time we had left, those two jokers wasted it, so I guess it's time to go.
Oh.
Aw, man! It's because of you guys. I didn't have enough time to check something.
Huh?
What were you trying to check? The other room?
See?
I wanted to research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. So he can see about the magic circle and stuff like that. Again, he is making sure that every problem, every obstacle can be overcome.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is cyclical, or maybe not cyclical, eternal recurrence style, but multiple games or something, if he's the mastermind and is always here, then it could be somebody has to be able to win the game. He's trying to get people to pass.
Yeah.
And so he gives them all the clues that they need to pass, but nobody ever passes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's conspicuous how much he's in everybody's face coming in with the clutch save.
Yeah.
But he's such like a jerk and like obviously suspicious that nobody can really rely on him.
Yeah.
He makes people dislike him. So it's easier to not notice that he's the one who keeps saving the day. But unfortunately,
Man.
I couldn't find anything new that could be used as a clue. Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew his magic circle the same exact way as in this picture. Not only that, he used the same exact tools too. Nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you about it later. By the way, does anybody have a pile of red meat? That will definitely help restore my blood. I'll tell you after last trial. So, see there, yeah? Oh, look, it's a field of flowers and white light. Oh,
Go to it.
it's calling to me. I'm going to the white light now. Kokichi left, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Okay. Okay, very good, very good. Well, we should go too. Is he going to live?
That's true.
Well, who cares? Let's go.
Well, if he dies, it won't be any of our fault, so...
Yeah, there won't be another trial. Even if it was somehow ruled a murder, we wouldn't have to solve it.
Right, yeah.
Would that be suicide?
Maybe. Depends on what Monokuma classifies it as.
Is Maki nervous? I see. So even she gets nervous sometimes.
Do you want to die?
What are you staring at? Do you want to die? Oh, we are friends! What I can't believe is how little... Well, it just seems to me that like Kokichi or Kaito should be like maybe more affected by what happened.
Yeah, I'm a little irritated that Kaito's gag is kind of ruining any sort of emotional response he would otherwise be having.
Well, perhaps in the case of Kaito, if he had too much in this chapter 2, then it might end up making it look like he's stealing the whole show. So he has to look kind of dumb sometimes.
Kind of in the background for this one.
Considering that he's actually has had a large presence.
That's true, that's true.
Why am I walking?
Well, you see, David, walking is the primary method of locomotion for bipeds such as ourselves.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you on that point. It's just that there's no reason to walk through the whole school.
Oh dear.
It already looks so empty. It would appear we all have gathered, but it seems there are less and less of us.
Oh.
Less friends mean it that much harder to solve mystery.
Well, maybe not. It might make it a little easier when you cut it down by half.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on who's in what half.
Don't worry.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure you've gotten a little smarter by now, Gonta.
Yeah. Gota do his best to help.
Arg! Why can't I just stop being sick and get the frog out of my throat and into my belly where it belongs? And I could just have my regular voice back. Man, now I kind of want to eat a frog.
I could tell.
Have you ever had frog legs?
I have not.
Tastes quite good.
So I've heard.
It really does taste like chicken, and it's less. This sounds weird. It's less fishy than alligator.
Huh.
Right?
Wonder why.
You would expect that an amphibian that lives half its life or more in the water and is more closely related to a fish would taste fishier than a reptile that also lives half or more of its life in the water but is more distantly related to a fish. What are we talking about?
Eating food.
Dinner. I guess I want some. It's not going to be frog or alligator. Though, I mean, you can buy alligator at the grocery store. Here. I want you to graduate from super idiot level to at least Kaito idiot level.
What?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
I guess you don't know what it means. That is the point.
Are you okay?
More importantly, are you okay, Kaito?
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. Oh, wow. Maki roll sure does pack a punch.
I don't know.
It's your fault. Come here and I'll hit you again if you like it so much.
Oh, threaten me with a good time.
You don't need to worry about our dwindling numbers. Only dipshits have died so far.
Oh my god!
What?
Why?
Why would you say that?
That being said,
I know it's a tall order, but try to use your brains this time so I don't have to use mine.
hoo-yah!
These golden brain cells of mine are a gift to the entire world because everyone in the whole world needs that punching thing where when you make a dirty joke, you get punched in the face.
I could just skip that and punch you in the face.
Oh, would you?
With gusto.
Unacceptable.
It's as though every time you open your mouth, you become less likable.
How fascinating and spot on.
We tried really hard
We did.
to give her the benefit of the doubt.
And there was a time when it looked like she was improving.
Yeah, she stopped being extremely hostile, but that time ended.
Yeah,
And even the other characters are like, why are you like this?
yeah.
Rest in peace.
Atua, please lend us your power.
But
It may be difficult for us to rely on Atua.
Who can understand Atua? Who can hear Atua?
Considering what happened to Angie, whom Atua loved most of all.
well, you know.
She shouldn't have relied on Atua in the first place. But seriously, it's kind of funny seeing a robot believe in God, especially Atua.
I also.
So what? Robots can believe in God.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Actually, before I even met Angie, I had a similar experience.
Huh?
Hearing voices, I mean. You might call it an inner voice. It tells me what to do whenever I'm in trouble.
Got a minute?
How long are you gonna say that for? Atua and ghosts don't matter right now. Oi!
I thought it was interesting and developed my character more.
Is he just talking about his conscience, or because I don't believe he's a robot? And you know what?
Right.
If he is a robot, somehow, well, let's just say that technology is far more impressive than marveling at an exosol or like some kind of special display in a classroom. If you can make something like Kibo,
Yeah.
then you can make anything.
Jeez.
And also, she is a little extra hostile towards this stuff, which is kind of frustrating.
Yeah. The trial this time is gonna be rough. We got caught in Monokuma's trap.
Huh?
His trap.
That's right.
He probably made the fourth floor so scary on purpose to prevent me from investigating.
All right already.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Hey, so
Shuichi, say something.
Huh?
What do you want me to say? I kind of agree with them.
Okay.
Atua and ghosts don't matter right now. The culprit is among us. Well, that part at least is true. I do think she's a little too hostile towards other people's points of view. But I mean, obviously I like Maki and she's one of the game's main protagonists.
Yeah. So in the end, the culprit really was... No, it's nothing. We can talk about it once the trial starts. Gonta do his best to help.
Well, try to be useful. Try not to get in the way.
Yeah.
Listen up.
Yeah,
This
whatever.
isn't worth it.
Please wait.
It's true, though I do not know if it can be attributed to God per se. I can hear an inner voice guiding me when I don't know what to do. I can't explain why, but I believe that voice will lead me to hope as long as I listen to it.
Huh.
On your knees.
Do you think this might be a hint?
Yeah, I do think it might be a hint to something.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't suppose that that this game is actually people playing a video game, do you?
Whoa, that would be pretty meta.
Not the first time I would have seen it. Shut up! Why the fuck is a robot talking about God anyway? It's downright unseemly. Why, how could it possibly be so undignified? Like, that's not what she cares about or thinks about.
You're so dumb.
That inner voice is probably just a radio or something, like in taxis and stuff.
That is not funny.
It was unwise of me to confide in you all.
It's nice to have friends everywhere you go, isn't it?
Damn.
This trial is gonna be rough, since I couldn't do any investigating.
I again bring this up because as long as I am focused on this, I am not suspicious. Why did the seance fail? I never did figure out why. I see. He's still more interested in that than the case. How clever of you, Mr. Shinguji. I respected Angie and Teiko so much since the moment we met.
Shut up!
Nothing's gonna be solved by crying about it!
All right already.
Besides, that was a lie, wasn't it?
It's a lie.
Yeah, you guys had me figured out already, so there's really no point in keeping up the act. It'll just be, it'll take less energy if I just act true to my own heart. Kokichi never changes, no matter what situation he's in.
Unfortunately. Poor Himiko.
That's an understatement. And on top of that, she's gonna be blamed, too.
Yeah, how awful!
Like I said, I'm not even sure she can ever come back from this. What would you do if everybody you cared about in your life died within an hour of each other?
Yeah. How do you...
Right in front of you. Right in front of you.
Yeah, how do you recover from that?
As usual, we walked toward the elevator in silence. As soon as we remaining survivors stepped aboard, we descended. Every time, man. Every time. Perhaps because there were fewer of us, the elevator seemed to move faster. And so we fell, faster and faster, downward into the black. The elevator stopped, and just like always, the doors parted slowly. The light that shines on us from the other side, the bright light of our future. Or is it?
Uh-oh.
Boy, they look really depressed. Must be 'cause there's even less participants now.
Don't say they look depressed. You'll make Monodum sad.
No!
No!
As much as I'd love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth,
Now then,
let's hurry up and get this started! We've wasted enough time!
extreme!
At last, the class trial will begin! I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content!
Maybe I would if I wasn't positive that half of it, if not 70% of it, is going to be based on did Tenko die during the seance or not?
Well, you can't blame me for that!
Can you answer that question and that way we don't have to deal with it?
Where's the fun in that?
Then I can blame you! The third class trial was about to begin. Angie Yonaga, the ultimate artist. She created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try to prevent the killing game from proceeding anymore. Then Tenko Chabashira, the ultimate Aikido master, she hated men, but I knew that she hated this terrible killing game even more. She didn't hate men at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, maybe in chapter 1 she sure acted like it, but what happened immediately in chapter 2? She was so nice to Shuichi. She didn't have to reach out to him, and she didn't have to show him like the consideration and tenderness that she did.
Yeah.
Especially for someone who's like degenerate male all the time. She didn't have to do that, but she did. And she's the one who did it. She initiated it, not anybody else.
Yeah.
Nobody made her do that. She didn't hate men at all. And then what happened at the beginning of this chapter? You know, we had Kaito trying to look after Shuichi last time, in the last chapter, trying to train up his weakness. But when we got to Tenko's lab, she tried to do it for Shuichi herself.
And Himiko.
Well, unsurprisingly about
Yeah.
Himiko, of course, but she didn't treat Himiko like she treated Shuichi. She treated Shuichi like a friend that she wasn't asking for anything else from. More like a peer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there was anything there, but I'm just saying that, like, the way that she talked and the way that she was just talked about, it's just not true. She was just so nice. She was the kindest person here in terms of giving out actual kindness, and in terms of like showing that she cared. Like that last speech. It was like, no matter what, you have to train your heart. She was the nicest person here, and she was just randomly killed as part of a distraction. Ugh. No, maybe our theory about the whole thing is all wrong, who knows, but when I find out, well, the two who were killed were both trying to stop the killing. And who was the one who killed them? Was it one person? Two different people? We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. And I will fight for it. I will fight with truth and lies in this class trial.